supernatural beings who have now mingled amongst men so well that they forgot who they are, except for that dormant feeling that keeps making them say, why does everything happen to me? Why am I different? Why am I not enjoying this party the way they are? Why do I not want to get drunk and smoke reefer like they do? Why am I sitting in church saying I don't believe that white man on that cross is Jesus? Why is something happening different? And other people in the same room are sitting there and accept anything. And you look at them like, how can you accept anything anybody says? Well, if you're one of those people, they've always been saying, why me? Why when they run, I'm the one that falls? Every ski, I get the broken ski. Why am I the being in all this energy? Because the devil has a concentrated effort on your destruction. Because he knows that you are Jebarian, that you're from you're in the galactical being. You're part human and part extraterrestrial. He knows that. And you cannot, like Jesus said, I'm caught up in two worlds. He said he was having a problem. He said, my spirit is willing, it's just my flesh that is so weak. You follow? All of these collaboration of time, the alignment of the universe, the beings coming through is why your weather's out. And it sounds like a science fiction movie, because that's what he wants it to sound like, but it's true. I'll tell you some things that will wake you up. The headaches, the one-eye headaches. You know what I'm talking about? That you get in that one eye is aggravating you, that nervous tension that you can't stop rocking your leg all of a sudden. The inconsistency with time, right? It's Wednesday. What happened to Tuesday? Is this happening to some of you people in there? Well, that's because you are out of whack with what's going on. You're breaking his time barrier. You're not a tool no more. We are here for you, but you won't come. We can't take you back without teaching you first who you are and how you got here. I'm not talking about Abraham and Jesus. The whole Bible story we learn in a second. That's your history. You got one of the shortest histories of all everybody. We've existed for 76 trillion years. We've been incarnated in this planet since 11,500 years when we first built Atlantis here. There was mortals from the seed of the Nephilims who caused Atlantis to sink. A gap to the subterranean world which is beyond your understanding. Now you've got to relearn who you are and how you got here so you can get out here and leave these mortals here. Because this planet is destined to destroy itself. And they're going to take you with them. And if your spirit does not develop far enough, you will be of premature birth. You'll be caught in the destruction of this planet. I'm a teacher. I'm a teacher who's come to get my students and prepare y'all for the war. We've had several wars against those people before. And we've won. And every time they went somewhere else and colonized. Now they've colonized here and they've gotten you. I've got to come and separate you from them and turn you back into spiritual people so we can conquer him, which is whom you all call Satan. And prepare you all to go back to Malachi. Malachi, what you say? What is that? There's three domains, and then there's lower and above. Nesut, Malakut, and Lahut going up. Nesut is the abode of Humain, which is what y'all are, the ones on earth. Malakut is the abode of Malachic, angelic beings, as you call them. And Lahut is the throne of the omnipotent with the seven veils. You follow? Okay. Solid, liquid, and gas. Okay. You're in solid. The angels are in liquid, and the Almighty is in a form of gas. Okay. All right? Now the liquid can become vaporized into gas or hardened into a solid. Now I'm here to turn the solid back into a liquid, and then back into a gas. You follow? But they're so intermingled with the mortals here, it's harder to find who's who anymore. They're so well trained to act like the devil and live like him and want like him and love like him and lust like him, and it's hard to find the good ones from the bad ones. Now, it's quite a confusing job when you meet people. You think they're spiritual beings, you start teaching them, and they're really nothing but physical, total physical, and it becomes bewildering.
How would I know for myself?
You do know it from yourself. You already know if you're a spiritual being because you're not content here. When you look up at the sky, you get this fear. When they discuss UFOs, it doesn't frighten you. You want to be picked up by them. It's a difference. Other people say, not me, I'm not going to fly for. Then there's another people that say, why don't I see them? You even look up at night out your window and say, why can't I see one? When I've taken the congregation from this community, I said, you want me to prove you that they exist? I took hundreds of them to the mountains and said, now watch, they're going to come from that direction. And I called them and they came. And they hovered above them. They saw with their own eyes. But they can call anybody crazy if they want. As long as I got company in this insanity, I feel good. But they saw with their own eyes the ship. And I told them what to chant, and they chanted, and the ship came close, beamed light, and took off. I said, those people are waiting to take you. That was it. That's my job. And you have got to accept it before he realizes how dangerous I am, and then I'll have to leave. And many times as we're sent to you, you either turn us into gods, or you call us prophets, or you got all kind of crazy names you make up, because the men here cannot follow another what appears to be mortal without making them some type of a deity. Because they can't see it themselves. I mean, I'm a man too, so he must be God. Instead of just seeing themselves as students, or neophytes as you would have it, learning they have to turn you into a god or something. Or we would be gods compared to what the powers that you once had and that we have now. We would be gods compared to that, but you have the same power dormant. The same way your fingers there can play a piano. Right? Now, everybody's can't. But everybody has the ability to, who has working fingers to play the piano. Only a piano player knows that, though. And they say, well, anybody can play this thing. You already know that as a piano player, though. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Sometimes what happens to me is like there's this force that comes out, and it's like really bright and kind of warm,
yes,
but I can't seem to control when it comes out and when it doesn't. I know that when it does come out is when I've kind of left myself or my self-consciousness, and then all of a sudden it'll be there.
All right.
And I notice that when that happens, whatever I need to have happen, it happens.
Well, that's you. That's the real you. And you want to learn to control that?
Right.
You take and you put your hands in front. Everybody can't do this. You put your hands in front of your face and you clap your hands until you create a hollow sound, not a slap. It's a hollow sound. Not just, hear the difference? Okay. And once you've done that, you put your hands down on your lap and say to yourself, relax and let go. And just drop. Relax and let go. And just drop. And you feel your body start to relax in your hands from where you slapped them, where you brought energy to them, start to tingle because there's the blood going back into the cells. But that blood is carrying oxygen, energy. And you start to feel it move to the center of your body. And that feeling can start to come out. Then you stop it. It's exercise. You don't let it go. You stop it, and you get up and go about your business. And you practice it a little bit every day. And you let it come out a little further each day. And then you will control how well it travels and where it goes.
But I noticed that other people can see it.
Of course they can.
But I didn't think, at first I thought only I could see it.
Because that's easy. Then you don't have to explain it. It's so much easier. Because when people see things, they say, hey, what's that? And then you got to say, I don't know. Like I said earlier, you don't take on the responsibilities for things that you are. You refuse them. I'm not going to explain that. They just leave it alone. So you would have to pursue the meaning of it in order for you to explain it. And that you don't feel like being bothered with, so you're fighting about what it might really be. Well, now you know it's really the essence of you. It's the higher of you, the real you. Now become familiar with it. And when you hear that high-pitched sound, it usually precedes it in your ear, that little high-pitched sound, move your body to vibrate at that point. You understand? Usually before it'll happen, listen, you hear like a high buzzing sound above you, right? Move your body up to that point. Sit and place yourself at a point where you have a level, where you say, I'm at the middle. Say it in your mind, I'm at the middle or I'm at the bottom or the top. And then envision that sound above you and pull yourself up to that point with that sound. You understand? And it can open up and you'll see the ship. If they're convinced that it won't frighten you, that's also part of that fear. When adrenaline raises, the sense of adrenaline, which is the killer instinct in human beings, what frightens angelic beings away. Because man does have in him a killer instinct. And that sense comes up when the adrenaline moves. And all creatures know that you're about to kill with or without reason. So even angelic beings withdraw when that fear comes out of you. When you get afraid, they move away from you. Okay?
Imam Isa, I want you to further elaborate on that word cherubim and where they came from and what their purpose here is.
You want me to, or would you like me to?
Yeah, I would like you to.
Oh, thank you. Before the creation of human beings, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created a realm called Malakut. This realm was inhabited by two races of beings that had various species. These two races were called, in your present-day language, cherub and seraphim. They were what you refer to as angelic beings. But just like you have the two races on earth today, which came out of that, you follow? Prior to this, there was two on a spiritual plane. The ruler of this, or the Khalifa of that realm, was called Mikael, which is Melchizedek, or El-Khidr, which comes from the word Mik, to be like, to be like Allah. He was the angel who ruled all the archangels. Okay? And they ruled this abode called Malakut prior to the creation of Adam in the physical form. And then certain beings within the race of the cherub wanted to rule that domain because Michael spent so much time behind the fifth veil of Lahut, which starts another whole conversation, which I'll try not to go to, and rebelled against Michael's rule, which caused a battle in the domain of Malakut, which y'all call the battle of the angels. You see? And the angels that stayed with Michael, the seraphim from his race, were successful over the cherubim. And the cherubim were utterly removed from the plane of Malakut, except some of them who did not follow the wicked one, which is not who you know as Azazil or Iblis. This is before him. Okay? What Michael did was he took one of these young cherubim as an example, like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put the tree as an example of good and evil. He put one of them in the midst of the seraphim to see if they could repent, save this race by raising him in truth, the light of the green light as opposed to the red light. They're two colors. Okay. This being that they raised became known, he was from amongst a race called the Jinn. He was called Jan, the father of the Jinn. They were the Kafiruna originally, who covered the truth about the laws of Malakut prior to Iblis. This child, Jan, was from amongst the species of cherubim. You follow? Okay. So, after they took this child, Jan, and put him amongst the seraphim to rear him in knowledge, to reform them. But this being raised up again when Allah Ta'ala confronted the angels up there, which are the seraphim, that he was going to create a Khalifa for the next abode, the next evolutionary stage, which is called Nasr, which you're on now, the planet Earth. And he would create him in spirit first, and then give him a perfected body, and he would be able to procreate like Allah, because the angels couldn't do that. Procreate, have children. But Iblis, being from the Kafirun, could do that. They had the power to red light. Fire can make more fire, in other words. All right. But the seraphim were from the light of Allah. They didn't. He merely thought them into existence. They were lesser degrees. Adam to you. Because he told them that they were greater than this being, Adam, because they were created of Narun Samun. Narun, and not Nur. But the cherubim were Nar, and the seraphim were Nur, the light, and Nar is the fire. You see? When he, Iblis, who was called Azazillah, when he was cast down, and Lucifer, as you call him, raised up, they questioned Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through Mikael and said, where are you about to create another mischief maker? He was referring to beings like his descendants who caused mischief and shed blood. Allah's answer was through Mikael, I know what you do not know. You see? So this being, Jan, was very vexed at the creation of a being now of what he considered a lesser nature. He was going to be created of thin, of clay, shapes of salin, masnoon, fashioned from ham and black mud. And they couldn't. He said, I am better than him. He was big-chested with pride. I am greater than him. And the angrier he became, the more of the sem came from him. Semun is when a person is huffing and puffing out of anger. The wind, heat that comes from them is a poisonous thing that even you do when you get mad. When you go, I hate this person. This is the Sam in people. That's why they call him Uncle Sam. When he sets out and sends men to go on the other side of the world to kill other people, and they call it the war. Uncle Sam, Uncle Samun. This is a principle he's been using since he's come, before he came to this planet. Okay? Now this may sound crazy to y'all, but I'm sorry. So did the television 50 years ago. One day you'll find out this is all true. I'm telling you, because I was there. I'm an extraterrestrial incarnated. I want you to think I'm crazy, because that's what keeps me alive. The fact that people think I'm crazy, they leave me alone. And that's good.